Hello students, this is Dr. Ghanesham Chavan. Welcome in the session of Human Anatomy and Physiology. This would be the 8th lecture on blood. In today's lecture, we will discuss about the blood groups. Students, if you like my video, please put the button like and share my video as much as you can. In today's lecture, blood groups. Experiments with blood transfusion, the transfer of blood or blood components since hundreds of years, means from hundreds of years we are doing this transfer of blood. There are various blood groups that we will come across in today's lecture. Normally they are A, B, AB, O. So it is also called as ABO system. This blood group points can be asked in the examination for several times. The Australian scientist Carl Landsteiner discovered the human blood groups. Means since this period there is no existence of blood group. Earlier only we are known for the blood or whole blood. Blood transfusion becomes safer once he have discovered the various blood groups, because nobody knows which blood group is compatible with which blood group. So after his discovery we are come to know that this blood is compatible with this blood group. So that's why it becomes very safer. The differences in blood are due to the presence and absence of certain protein molecules called antigens and antibodies. These antigens also called as agglutinogens, and these antibodies are also called as agglutinins. The antigen are located on the surface of RBC, means on the RBC surface we will find the various antigens like antigen A, antigen B, and the antibodies are in the plasma. Means if we will see, the blood can be divided into two parts, form elements and non-form elements. So in form elements mostly there are RBCs, and RBC are containing these antigens, and in non-form elements plasma is the major. It is 55% plasma is there in our body, so it contains the various types of antibodies. So there are specific antibody for specific antigens. Membrane of RBC contains variety of blood group specific antigen called agglutinogens. So they are having specific antigen, they are called as agglutinogen. For example, agglutinogen A, B, AB. The antibody is present in the plasma called agglutinin. Agglutinin is nothing but the antibody, and these agglutinogens are called as antigens. 30 commonly occurring antigens and hundreds of others are rare antigens. Most of them are weak antigens. Each individual have different types of combinations of these molecules. So there are various different types of combinations of antigen and antibody. Mixing incompatible blood groups leads to blood clumping or agglutination reactions, which is dangerous for individual. When we are mixing two blood groups, if they are incompatible, so they will form the clumping. What is clumping? Means they are degrading the RBC, destroying the RBC. They are producing the process like hemolysis. They are breakdown of RBC occurs. So it is also called as agglutination reaction, and which is very dangerous to human being. So we can die also if the all RBC will break down in our body. Isoglutinins, antibodies that glutinate blood cells some individual of the same species. So it is typically called as isoglutinins. There are more than 20 genetically determined blood groups systems known today. So more than 20 blood group systems are available. Cheap blood groups are classified as a ABO group system. So it is called as ABO group system. So it can be asked in the examination, give an account on ABO system. And second is rhesus group. It is also called as RS factor, which can be determined by the rhesus monkey, so on which he has been the scientist has been discovered this rhesus factor. Now, classical or ABO blood groups. Individuals are divided into four major blood groups depending on the presence or absence of blood group specific substance called A, B, and O. So these are the major blood groups which we have. A and B are specific substances, polysaccharide. They are polysaccharide in nature, and antigens, agglutinogens. Means blood group A is having the antigen A or agglutinogen A, and this blood group B is having the antigen or agglutinogen B. The antibody is present in each group is called agglutinin. Antibody is called as agglutinin, and the antigen is called as agglutinogen, and the process is called as agglutination. The agglutinin action on agglutinogen is called alpha or anti-A. The agglutinin acting on agglutinogen B is called beta or anti-B. Means this anti-B antibody is acting on agglutinogen B or antigen B. Means they can, this anti-B agglutinin can form the clumping with agglutinogen B, and whereas the anti-A means antibody A or agglutinin A will form clumping with agglutinogen or antigen A. Group O doesn't have agglutinogen as there is no corresponding agglutinin. Means this blood group O don't have any antigen. But they are having corresponding agglutinin. Now, agglutinin alpha and beta are globulins of IgM type. It is a IgM specific type and hence cannot cross placenta, but it happens in rare case it can cross the placenta, but mostly the agglutinin alpha and beta are globulins and they won't cross the placenta. Based on these facts, Karl Landsteiner in 1901 framed the law called Landstein's law. This is the scientist, Australian scientist Landsteiner. So according to his law, these are the various principles that we should know. The first principle is that if an agglutinogen is present in the RBC of an individual, the corresponding agglutinin must be absent from the plasma. Means if you want to compatible that blood with this, so whatever agglutinogen is present in the RBC, so the same corresponding agglutinin should not present in the plasma. Suppose if it will present, what will happen? The clumping will form, the RBC will be destroyed. So that is why the plasma should not have that typical antibody or agglutinin. Second rule, if an agglutinogen is absent in the RBC of an individual, the corresponding agglutinin must be present in the plasma. Suppose if the blood is A blood group is there, so that A blood group don't have B agglutinogen, means B agglutinogen is absent, means B antigen is absent. So likewise the corresponding agglutinin must be present, means the A agglutinin, A antibody is present in the plasma. Now here, by putting the example, we can easily understand how the compatibility is there. Now this is the plasma and this is the RBC. Now this plasma, this in the red blood cells in RBC, this is the A blood group, that's why it is having the antigen A or agglutinogen A, and this is the antibody A. Now Now this is the B blood group which is having the antigen B and having anti-A antibody. Means it is a reverse. If blood group is having antigen A, they are having anti-A antibody. And now this blood group is having antigen A and B, means blood group is AB, and they don't have any antibody, neither A or B antibodies. Now this is the blood group O. They neither have antigen A or B, but they are having anti-A and anti-B antibodies. So they are having both the antibodies. That's why they are having ability to destroy the RBC of A as well as B. That's why blood group A and B cannot give blood, or AB they cannot give blood to the O blood group. Now here type A blood group cells the type A surface antigen and plasma with anti-B antibodies. This type B red blood cells with type B surface antigen and plasma A anti-A antibody, and type AB red blood cells with both anti-A and anti-B surface antigen and neither anti-A or anti-B plasma antibodies. And this type O red blood cells with neither type A or type B surface antigen but both anti-A and anti-B plasma antibodies. So in this fashion we have come across with all the blood groups, and each blood group having which antigen means which agglutinogen and which antibody means which agglutinin. Inheritance of ABO blood groups. The agglutinogen A and B are inherited as Mendel's dominant of first appear of the 6th week of fetal life. Antigen A and B are not limited to RBC but are also found in any organs. The specific agglutinin are present in the plasma and appear at the 10th day, rise to the peak of 10 years and then decline. So this is the history of this agglutinin that we should know. The specific agglutinin act best at low temperature 5 degrees Celsius to 20 degrees Celsius at cold, and they are also called as cold antibodies. So they are best at the low temperature, these antibodies. The 4 classical ABO blood groups depend on 3 genes named after the corresponding factor A, B and O. Each person's blood group is determined by the 2 genes which he receives from parent. Means each person is having the specific genes which he received from his parents. If a person receives a gene from each parent, A plus A or A plus O, his blood group or phenotype is A. His genotype is AA or AO. In second case, B plus B or B plus O, his blood group or phenotype is B and his genotype is BB or BO. And if person receives the genes from A plus B, he may have blood group AB and his genotype is AB. And if person receives genes from O plus O, so his blood group is maybe O and his genotype also will be O. So 6 possible combinations of genes AA, AO, BB, BO, AB and OO. Each combination is known as genotypes. So in this fashion the next generation will have the blood groups. So if they are compatible, so they will produce the next generation, and in this fashion they will produce the phenotype as well as genotypes. Determination of classical blood groups. determining by mixing a drop of acidic solution suspension of the subject RBC with the drop of serum A and serum B separately on the glass slide. Checked for agglutination reactions, means clumping reaction. Agglutination reactions means the RBC is going to be decomposed or break down. Now this reaction also we have done in our lab in practical. This is also one of the practical identification of blood group. In that blood group we are doing these reactions. Now here, if the blood agglutinates, it indicates that blood have antigen binding the specific antibody in the reagents. Now here the agglutinates. Now in this case the clumping has been formed, means the antigen from one blood group will bind with the antibody with the another blood group, and in this fashion the clumping will form. The agglutination indicates that blood has reacted with a certain antibody and therefore is not compatible with the blood containing of that antibody. So here the blood is not compatible, blood is not matched with the another blood group because they are destroying the RBC of another blood group or donor's blood group. Either the receivers is having the antibody in his plasma and the donor's RBC having the respective antigen on his RBC, and due to which his RBC is going to be destroyed by the receiver's antibody present in his plasma. So whereas in this slide it is a compatible, means there is no clumping, there is no destruction, there is no process of agglutination occurs here. Here is the chances of agglutination. This is the example of agglutination or clumping, means destruction of RBC has been occur in this slide. Now here how we are identifying, how we are checking the blood groups, that we can understand here. Now blood group type, this is the A, B, A, B, O. Now here AB, so they are having anti-A serum and anti-B serum, means the antigen which is present in this AB blood group, so B antigen will bind with the anti-B serum and clumping will form. The A antigen will bind with the anti-A antibody and they will find the clumping. Means this blood group is having both the antigen, antigen A, antigen B, agglutinogen A and agglutinogen B. Here it is clear that this is blood group of AB. They don't have any antibody but they are having both the antigens. Now here blood group A, this is having agglutinogen A, agglutinogen or antigen A, and which is forming clumping with anti-A, which is the antibody A, antibody and antigen A, antigen antibody reaction will occur and clumping occurs, agglutination occurs, and which is the indication of blood group A, and which doesn't reacts with B, means there is no clumping with anti-B. This is the antibody, anti-A and anti-B, and this is the antigen present in the blood group A, blood group B, blood group AB. So B, which doesn't react with the antibody A, anti-A, but it reacts with the anti-B. That's why here the agglutination occurs or clumping occurs, which indicates that this blood group may contain the antigen B, means this is the blood group B. Now in these reactions, this is the blood group O. This blood group won't contain any antigen, that's why it doesn't react with anti-A or anti-B. That's why it don't have any antigen, neither A antigen nor B antigen. That's why it doesn't react with any antibody, neither anti-A antibody or anti-B antibody. I hope you understood. This is very easy. Try to understand. If you can't understand, call me again. So I will explain it again you. So that's why in O there is no antigen, but O is having both the antibodies. Try to understand. This AB blood group having both the antigen A and antigen B, but they don't have any antibody. Okay. Now rhesus blood group. It can be discovered by the scientists Landsteiner and Wien in 1940. Means in 1902 blood group has been discovered, and after the 40 years this rhesus factor, this Rh factor, positive and negative, has been discovered. Many people have so-called Rh factor on the red blood cells surface. The Rh antigen is called D and its antibody is called as anti-D. See, this anti-D is nothing but the antibody for the Rh factor. Rh antigen antibody reaction occurs based at body temperature. They are also called as warm antibodies. Rh antibodies are the IgG type, whereas we have discussed other antibodies are IgM antibodies. So these are the IgG antibodies type, hence they can cross the placenta, which is the very dangerous one for us. Try to understand, these Rh antibodies are the IgG antibody, and whereas all the antibodies A, B, they are the IgM antibodies, which doesn't cross placenta, and these Rh positive, negative, they can cross the placenta. Unlike ABO system, spontaneous reactions, Rh system, no spontaneous reaction is there. 6 common types of Rh antigens are there, each of which is called as Rh factor. So these Rh factors are total 6 types are present. They are capital C, capital D, capital E, small c, small d and small e. A person who has C antigen does not have C antigen. A person who missing C antigen, capital C antigen, always has C antigen. Same is the case with capital D, D and capital E, E antigen. Type D antigen is widely prevalent in population and is more antigenic than any other Rh antigens. That's why this antigen D is very common all over the, almost 95% people are having this antigen, anti-D. That's why we are using the anti-D antibodies for identification of antigen D or Rh factor. Anyone who has antigen is said to be Rh positive, and does not have are said to be Rh negative. Means if your body, your blood is having antigen D, means the person is Rh positive. If don't have antigen D, means person is Rh negative. In this fashion we can easily identify, as we can also do practical here, as we saw here. If you put the another column here, which here you can add here anti-D serum, so by which also we can understand here positive or negative, positive or negative. So here you can understand, if clumping will form means positive, and if there is like no clumping means it is negative. So in this fashion we can easily identify by doing that practical of agglutination. So here in this fashion we can find out Rh positive and Rh negative. Rh negative individuals, the anti-D are not actually present in the plasma, but its products can be triggered by transfusion of Rh positive blood. The entrance of Rh positive RBC from Rh positive fetus into the maternal circulation of Rh negative mother, and it is called as hemolytic disease of newborn, or it is also called as erythroblastosis fetalis. So here you should try to understand. Now suppose if the female, pregnant female is having Rh negative blood group and the fetus is having Rh positive blood group, so at the first delivery in the first pregnancy, what will happen? The baby is Rh positive and the mother is Rh negative, but due to that Rh negative blood group, she may develop the antibody against the baby, but there would be no any problem for the first baby. First baby will be normal delivery will occur and he will live his life normally. But at the second time of delivery, at the second time of pregnancy, when the second baby is also having Rh positive blood group, whereas the mother is having Rh negative blood group, but after the first delivery, after the first pregnancy, she have developed the antibody against that Rh positive blood, and due to which at the second time when the baby is having Rh positive blood, so that antibody will act against that RBC of fetus, and due to which what will happen, she will her antibody will kill the RBC of fetus, means the hemolysis will occur, and that condition is called as hemolytic disease of newborn or erythroblastosis fertilis. So in that condition, the complete destruction of RBC will occur, and the condition like cyanosis will develop into that baby, into that fetus. So that typical condition is called as hemolytic disease of newborn. Try to understand, it is very easy. Rh factor and hemolytic disease. Now here the mother is Rh negative and the fetus is Rh positive. So RBC containing the antigen D may cross the placenta from the fetus, because that antibody contains IgG antibody, that's why they can cross the placenta from the fetus into the mother, either during pregnancy or during delivery. Now mother response. So what will happen? Anti-D will return to the fetal circulation and begins to destroy the fetal RBC. So this will happen when the same blood group, means the same Rh positive blood group, will occur into the second time of pregnancy. First time no problem to the fetus, but at the second time the anti-D, that anti-D antibody which is available into the mother, which begins to destroy the fetal RBC, and complete hemolysis of RBC of that fetus will occur, and which develops into the hemolytic disease of newborn. Degree of damage depends on the magnitude of maternal anti-D response and the ability of maternal Rh antibody to cross the placenta. Here you can see the maternal circulation, maternal Rh negative blood cells and fetal Rh positive blood cells enters maternal circulation. The baby is having Rh positive blood cells, and from his baby the cells, the Rh positive factor that will cross the placental barrier and will reach to the mother, and due to which the mother Rh negative blood is going to form the antibody against the Rh positive antigen, and due to which the antibody here, the maternal circulation, the maternal anti-Rh antibody cross placenta, and due to which at the second time, for first baby no problem, but at the second time when the same blood group is having that fetus and mother is having Rh negative blood group, so whatever the Rh negative antibodies are there which has been produced by the mother, they can be transferred from the mother's blood toward the fetus blood, and they will capture all the RBC. Here you can see this antibody has captured the RBC, these have captured, so they will capture all the RBC, and the condition like phagocytosis will occur, and they will do the destruction of all the RBC. Whatever number of RBCs are present, that's the same number of antibody has been produced in the mother's blood, and they will destroy. So here the agglutination of fetal Rh positive red blood cells leads into the hemolytic disease of newborn or erythroblastosis fertilis. So in this fashion, the process of agglutination occurs or hemolysis of the newborn baby occur, and the blood will completely become the cyanosis, means the bluish color of blood will be there. RBC will be destructed because hemoglobin will be immediately separate as the hemolysis will occur. Since the sensitization of Rh negative mother occurs at birth, the first child is usually normal. There is no problem to the first child. But if the mother has been immunized previously by a Rh positive transfusion, anytime, even in the childhood, a dangerously high response may occur during the first pregnancy. These changes in the fetus is termed hemolytic disease of newborn or erythroblastosis fetalis. ABO incompatibilities rarely produce hemolytic disease in newborn. Since alpha and beta antibodies are IgM and they cannot cross the placenta. This is the tagline, that alpha and beta antibodies are IgM antibodies and they cannot cross the placenta. Whereas the anti-D antibody, which is for Rh factor, it is the IgG antibody and they can cross the placenta. Now clinical pictures of erythroblastosis fetalis. Newborn is jaundiced, usually anemic at birth. Anti-Rh antibody from the mother circulate in the infant's blood for another 1 to 2 months after birth, destroying more RBCs. The hemopoietic tissue of the infant attempt to replace the hemolyzed RBC. Liver and spleen becomes greatly enlarged. Their size is going to be increased. Severe anemia usually causes death of the infants. So in the severe anemic conditions, they will produce the death of the infants. Infant who survive develop permanent mental impairment or damage to the motor areas of brain due to precipitation of bilirubin in the neuronal cells, causing destruction. Prevention of Rh hemolytic disease. Find out the Rh type of expectant parents. If mother is Rh negative and the father is Rh positive, baby is at the risk of developing HDN. That's why mother should not Rh negative. Mother's serum is tested to make sure that she doesn't already have anti-D antibody from the previous pregnancy or transfusion. Finally, the Rh negative mother is given a dose of Rh immunoglobulin at the 28th week of gestation and again after the delivery if the baby is Rh positive. So this dose of immunoglobulin will prevent the destruction of RBC in the fetus. The RhIg will attach to the any Rh positive cell from the baby in the mother's bloodstream that prevent them from triggering anti-D antibody production in the mother. The Rh woman should also have RhIg following a miscarriage, abortion or ectopic pregnancy. Agglutination reactions. When blood are mismatched so that anti-A or anti-B plasma agglutinins are mixed with the red blood cells that contain A or B agglutinogens. The red blood cells agglutinates as a result of agglutinins attaching themselves to the red blood cells. The agglutinins have two binding sites, IgG type or 10 binding sites, IgM type. The single agglutinin can attach two or more red blood cells at the same time, thereby causing the cells to be bound together by the agglutinins. This causes the cell to clump, which is process called agglutination. Means when the antigen of blood group A will bind with the antibody which is present in the plasma, anti-A. So they are forming the agglutination, which is also called as clumping, means destruction of that RBC. So whatever the antigen present on the RBC will bind with the antibody which is present in the plasma. Then these clump plug small blood vessels throughout the circulatory system. These agglutinated clump of cells are later destroyed by the phagocytic leukocytes, releasing hemoglobin into the plasma. They are releasing the hemoglobin because whatever the RBC is there, RBC can be destroyed, can be destructed by the process phagocytosis, and the hemoglobin will be immediately released from that RBC, and the hemolysis of RBC will occur. Released hemoglobin is converted by the phagocytes into the bilirubin and later excreted into the bile by the liver. That's why the yellowish coloration of our sclera or the waste material will be there. Bilirubin level in the body increases, and which may leads into the jaundice. Now here, this is the type A and this is the type B patients. Now no agglutination reaction is here. Now type A blood donor, this type A blood donor may have the antigen A on RBC. This is the anti-B antibody in the type A blood of recipients. Now recipient is having an anti-B antibody, but that antigen A antigen and antibody do not match, and there is no agglutination. They won't form clumping, they won't do the process of agglutinations. Whereas in type B, A agglutination reactions. So here the type A blood group donor is having type A blood group, means his RBC is having A antigen. This donor's RBC is having A antigen, whereas the recipient's blood plasma is having anti-A antibody, and due to which anti-A and antigen A, so they are compatible, and due to which they are forming, so immediately this antigen and antibody match will occur, and the process of agglutination will occur. It is also called as clumping will occur, because immediately that antibody will bind with the specific antigen. Anti-A antibody will bind with the antigen A or agglutinogen A, and due to which the agglutinogen and agglutinin reaction will occur, which is called as agglutination, and due to this clumping reaction the complete destruction of this RBC will occur, and that's why here the agglutination process will occur. So in this patient type B patients, agglutination occurs, means the blood is mismatched, whereas here the blood is going to be matched because there is no clumping has been formed. Basic rules to be followed during the blood transfusion. So because proper blood transfusion should be there whenever we are giving any blood to the another person, from the donor to the receiver, so blood should be matched normally. If we are giving the same blood group, it will match very easily. As we have already discussed the table of donor and acceptor, so here you can understand that blood group O is the universal donor, whereas the blood group AB is the universal acceptor. So blood group O can give blood to all the blood groups A, B, AB and O, whereas the AB can receive blood from all the blood groups like A, B, AB and O. The plasma of donor which contains agglutinins can usually be ignored because the donor's plasma is the transfusion is usually diluted so by the much larger volume of recipients. recipient's plasma, and it rarely causes the agglutinations. No Rh negative females at any age before menopause should ever be given the Rh positive blood transfusion. This is because she may become sensitized by the injected Rh positive blood and form anti-D antibodies. So as we saw in the earlier cases that females will start to produce the anti-D antibodies. So for avoiding them, we should not give them this Rh positive blood. So transfusion may take her permanently childless. If you are giving this transfusion Rh positive blood group, so it will change them permanently childless. Blood group A and blood group B can only safely receive blood from their own blood groups and blood group O. Person with blood group AB have no circulating agglutinins, means they don't have any antibodies agglutinins. That's why they will not kill any antigen of any RBC. Try to understand, because AB will receive the blood from all the blood groups, and all the blood groups are remaining blood groups are having the antigen, because A is having A antigen, B is having B antigen, AB is having both the antigens, and the O is don't having any antigen. But whereas this AB blood don't having any antibody which can kill any antigen, so no antibody means no killing, no clumping, and no agglutination. That's why all blood will match with the blood group of AB. That's why AB is the universal donor, and this O is universal. AB is universal acceptor and O is a universal donor. Why? Because the O blood group don't have any antigen which can be killed. That's why that blood is very easily compatible with any blood groups. So can therefore be given blood and anyone without developing a transfusion reactions. Now AB blood group, this is the universal recipients. They can receive the blood from all the blood groups. So person of blood group O contain no agglutinogen, means they are not having any antigen, either A or B, and their blood can be given to anyone. Therefore its RBC are not agglutinated by the members of any blood group, because there is problem to the RBC. If RBC is having any antigen, and that antigen will going to form antigen antibody reactions, so immediately the RBC can be destructed. As there is no any antigen on the RBC of O blood group, there is no chances of destruction, there is no chances of agglutination. That's why this blood group O is the universal donor, and whereas this AB is having both the antigen, but they don't have any antibodies to kill, to destruct any donor's antigen of RBC. That's why they will not destruct any RBC. So in this fashion they can receive the blood from all the bloods, and here they can give the blood to all the blood groups. The term universal donor and universal recipient are no longer valid, as complication can be produced by the existence of Rh and other factors. Therefore, the other safeguard against blood transfusion is direct cross matching. So we should do the direct cross matching. Importance of cross matching: it is the direct and final check to detect whether there is any mismatching between the blood of potential donor and potential recipients. Major cross matching. What is major cross matching? Donors RBC, here donors RBC are mixed with the recipient's serum, because the recipient's serum may contain the antibodies. and which can kill the donor's RBC. That's why this is the major cross matching, because here is great role of recipient serum. Recipient serums are very important, and they are having ability to kill the donor's RBC. That's why this is the major cross matching. This is the minor cross matching, where the recipient's RBC with the donor's serum. There is no problem to the recipient's RBC with the donor's serum. This is the minor cross matching. It is observed that if there is an agglutination or not, no agglutinations in either case means that the two blood are perfectly compatible, the transfusion is allowed. Suppose this recipient serum didn't done attack on the donor's RBC, on the donor's antigen, means your blood is safe. The donor can give the blood to the recipients, and in that condition transfusion is allowed. Suppose the donor's blood is having some antigen which can bind with the antibody which is present into the recipient's serum, so in that condition the agglutination process will occur and due to which clumping will occur, and in that condition the transfusion is not allowed, because whatever blood which can be given by this donor, that all the RBC of the donor blood can be destroyed by the serum's antibody, recipient's serum's antibody, because the recipient person's blood or serum is having that typical antibody which can destroy the donor's RBC. So whatever transfusion you are doing, it would be useless, unnecessary. So in that condition the transfusion is not allowed, it is just useless. Now here, major and minor cross matching. Try to understand what is major and minor. Here again I will discuss with you. This is the donor's blood. Donor is having plasma and RBC. Now here, this is the patient's blood. Now here, the minor crossing. In minor crossing, when the plasma from the donor will match with the RBC of the recipients, and in major crossing, when the plasma from the recipients will cross or which match with the RBC, because in RBC of donor, if they are having antigen and if they are having the antibody, they will form the clumping, they will form the agglutination, and which will be unmatched. So that is why we should identify. So we should identify that whether this RBC is having the same antigen which is compatible with the antibody of the plasma of recipients. So here, patient plasma plus donor's RBC is major cross matching, because the patient plasma may have the antibody. We have to identify which antibody they are having. And second is donor's plasma plus patient's RBC is the minor cross matching. Now, so students, in this session we have covered this point, blood. Today I will declare that our blood chapter has been completed. If you have any queries, you can ask me. I hope I have clarified your all the queries. I have completed the syllabus of blood complete. If you like this video, please put the like button and share my videos as much as you can and increase the view. So thanks a lot for hearing my lecture. See you then. Bye.